Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a video and come on here and just give a little update on my video series called My Journey to 300 Coasters. It is a little bit of a sad update for me, but I thought that I should make a little video just to tell you what's going on. So I recently took a trip out to California in attempts at riding my 300th coaster, and it was so fun. I had a blast. I actually posted the first half of the trip. I went to Discovery Kingdom, California's Great America, and Santa Cruz Boardwalk, and it was just amazing. So those videos are posted and you can watch them now. And then the second half of the trip, we did Six Flags Magic Mountain, Universal Studios Hollywood, and Knott's Berry Farm. And that was just incredible also. It was just amazing. And then when I returned home to start editing, my SD card got damaged, and I ended up losing all my footage from the second half of my trip. So I do not currently have any footage of Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, or Universal Studios. I am so incredibly sad about this because I was so excited to work on them and post the footage for you guys to share my experiences and my journey at those parks, because they were just really incredible and fun, and I had such a good time. So I am really bummed about losing the footage of a lot of fun stuff, but I thought right now in this video I can just kind of give a little summary and review of the 3 parks that I went to that I lost the footage of, just so that I can still share my experiences, and that if you want to share anything in the comments or anything about your experiences at the parks, that you're free to do that here. So after Santa Cruz Boardwalk, we went to Six Flags Magic Mountain, and this was just an incredible park. The coaster lineup there is insane. We actually ended up riding 17 coasters in one day, and then that one day, the last coaster we rode was my 300th coaster. So I ended up doing it and riding my 300th coaster, and it was such a good feeling, and it was such a feat, honestly, because it is not easy in the California heat and summer to do that many coasters in one day. I ended up saving X2 for my 300th coaster because I knew I wanted to ride that one as my 300th, because it's kind of iconic, and it's fun to kind of do milestone coasters as iconic coasters. So yeah, X2 was my 300th coaster, and I loved it. It was so unique and just a really fun experience. If you don't know, X2 flips while it's going on the track, so it's a really unique sensation and just kind of fun because people were cheering and stuff, because I feel like it's such an iconic coaster. So when the trains kind of flip before you go, and everyone started cheering, and it was just really fun. So I had an awesome time at Magic Mountain. My very favorite coaster at Magic Mountain was Twisted Colossus. It was so good. I think we rode that 4 times, I think, and it was, at that point at Magic Mountain, my favorite coaster of the trip so far. So Twisted Colossus beat out everything from the previous few days. It was really fun. West Coast Racers was also really fun for me. I didn't really know anything about it. So when, spoiler alert, when you start out racing one train and then there's kind of a break in the middle, and then you do the whole track, a different track again, but it's kind of you're racing 2 separate trains. I don't know. It was really fun, and it was a surprise hit for me. And then Tatsu was a really intense flying coaster. I love flying coasters, but Tatsu was definitely the most intense one I've been on, and that was really fun also. So overall, Magic Mountain was a hit, and I loved it so much, and I hit my 300th coaster there, so it'll always kind of have a special place in my heart for that, and just because I've always wanted to go there because the coaster lineup is just incredible. So that was awesome. After that, we made our way to Universal Studios Hollywood, and this was special for me because I have been to Universal Orlando so much. I love it there. I have annual pass, and I go all the time. So it was fun for me to go to Universal Hollywood because I've watched so much about it, read about it, and kind of knew a lot about it, but had never been there. So I had a really enjoyable time because there were some similarities to the Orlando park, but also a lot of differences, and a lot of unique differences that were really enjoyable. So I would say the highlights for me were Super Nintendo World. So I had been to Epic Universe already and done that Nintendo World, and the Hollywood one is a little smaller and there's not as much there, but that's always such a good time. And we got really good at doing the power-up bands, and I actually finished one of the days that we were there in 9th place out of everyone that was at the park that day in like points. So I felt really good about that. That was definitely a highlight. And I got really good at the Mario Kart game also. Or the Mario Kart ride, I should say. Another highlight was Hogsmeade, of course. I love Harry Potter, and it was cool to kind of compare the Orlando Hogsmeade with the Hollywood one. It was kind of funny because I kept like thinking I was in Orlando, but then having to remind myself that I wasn't. I would say the main difference, obviously, is there's no Hagrid's coaster in Hollywood, and I love that coaster, so that was a little bit of a bummer that, I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be there, but it just looked weird when you were walking in and there was no Hagrid's on the right. But other than that, I always just enjoy being in the Harry Potter wizarding worlds and just spending time there and drinking butterbeer and all of that. So that was a highlight. And then I would say the surprise hit at Universal Hollywood was the Jurassic World ride. Holy moly, I was blown away by that attraction. I had been on Jurassic Park in Orlando several times, but the Jurassic World one is just kind of like a refurbishment, but it is done so well. There's still elements from the original Jurassic Park ride so that you kind of still get that nostalgic feel, but then there's also some aspects of the ride that just like blew me away how good they were. So for example, the Indominus Rex animatronic in there is really, really good. Like, I was like actually scared because it kind of like runs at you a little bit. And then there's also a T-Rex animatronic, but that Indominus Rex one was so good. You get soaked on that ride though. The Jurassic Park one in Orlando, you don't necessarily always get wet, depends where you sit. The Jurassic World in Hollywood though, there's no escaping the water because there's water all over you all the time. Like you even like ride the boat and there's like waterfalls over you. So there's no escaping the wet. I actually wore a poncho the last couple times I rode that because I loved the ride so much, but I didn't want to get wet because it wasn't really that warm. It was like in the 70s, but it wasn't like warm enough to be like soaked all day. So I didn't really want to get wet, but a poncho definitely did work. But yeah, I was blown away by that attraction. I wish I could go on that right now. And then of course, I also loved seeing the Jaws part during the studio tour. That was really fun, and seeing Bruce in the water. And I remember going on the Jaws ride at Orlando, and it's no longer there. So it was kind of cool to see it again, just like in a much smaller scale. But the whole studio tour was really cool. It was an hour long though, so just be aware if you're going to go on that. It's an hour-long attraction, but it was really cool to actually see the movie studios. You didn't get to go in or anything, but to drive around and see some sets. And they drove us through the set of the movie Nope, the Jordan Peele movie, and I really liked that movie, so it was cool to ride around there and see like where that was filmed and everything. And then of course it was cool to see the Bates Motel because I love the movie Psycho, and the show Bates Motel I really liked too. So it was cool to see that. And Norman Bates actually came out and had the knife, and that was really cool. Overall, Universal Hollywood was such a highlight of the trip, and I loved it, and I can't wait to go back again someday. And then we ended off the trip at Knott's Berry Farm, and I had actually been to Knott's Berry Farm before, but a long time ago when I was a kid, and I didn't remember barely anything about it, and I don't even know like what attractions I rode or anything like that. So this was kind of like a first time, even though it wasn't really my first time, but I didn't really remember anything about it, so it kind of was. But I couldn't have asked for a better finale to the trip than Knott's Berry Farm because it was such a kind of like best of both worlds where there were such good coasters, but then there was also great theming and like food and everything like that. So it was such a good park to end the trip on. We also actually stayed at the Knott's Berry Farm Hotel. That's like a minute walk. You can just walk right into the park, and that was really helpful and useful. And I would definitely stay at that hotel again because it was awesome. The hotel had like boysenberry shampoo and soap, and it was just all boysenberried out, so I loved that aspect of it too. But this park is where my very favorite coaster of the trip came into play. Ghost Rider was amazing. I think it's now my very favorite wooden coaster of all time. Maybe second to Mystic Timbers, but Mystic Timbers is like my second favorite coaster of all time, so Ghost Rider is definitely in my top 5 of coasters. It is so good. It's such a good wooden coaster. It's very special and just very fun. So if you make it out to Knott's Berry Farm, you have to go on Ghost Rider because it was honestly life-changing, I'll say that. Other highlights of Knott's Berry Farm was Hang Time. Hang Time was a really fun, kind of, not really a dive coaster. It doesn't have like the same setup, but it hangs you there, and then yeah, you know, you get it. Accelerator was really fun too. That that launch at the beginning was just really awesome and fast, and it was a little bit of a short coaster, but it was very, very fun. And you know how I love those family coasters, so Pony Express was really fun. It's like you're sitting on like a pony, like it almost looks like a carousel pony, but like there's like seatbelts and stuff. And then that one has a big launch too, and it's a short coaster for sure. So that's the one downfall, is I think it could be longer, but it was very fun, and just, it was a not super thrilling coaster, but I love those. So Pony Express was a win in my book. And then just, I have to mention the flat rides that I liked, because Knott's Berry Farm had some awesome flat rides. The swings were so good. They played like some music, and at night they lit up, and they were just high and fast and were long enough, so I really liked the swings there. And then they had a really good scrambler there as well that I really enjoyed. And also just trying all the boysenberry food that they have around the park. We tried the boysenberry tart. That was delicious. I love fruit tarts. Boysenberry punch. We have the drink cups, so we were able to fill up the drink cups. I think it's every 15 minutes, and in each machine they had the boysenberry punch. That was awesome. It's really sweet though, so I had to be in the right mood for it. Otherwise, I would just do like Powerade or soda or something. But that was really good. And then also boysenberry pancakes at the resort. They had a restaurant, and the boysenberry pancakes were so good. I'm usually not the biggest fan of like sweet breakfast, but I couldn't resist. And I was really glad I got the boysenberry pancakes because they were delicious. So overall, I had an amazing trip out to California. I'm really sad I can't share the footage with you of the last 3 parks, because they were honestly incredible and I had such a good time. And the whole trip was just amazing. So if you haven't watched the first 3 episodes of my journey yet, you can do that now. But the last 3, unfortunately, I will not be able to share with you. So if you have been to Knott's Berry Farm, Magic Mountain, or Universal and want to share your thoughts in the comments, be sure to do that. Again, I'm very sorry I can't share the footage with you, but hopefully this kind of explained a little bit what happened, so that you're not looking for the videos. Oh, and I ended up ending the trip with 311 coasters. So 300th coaster was at Magic Mountain, and then I got 2 more at Universal Hollywood, and then 8 more. I think Knott's Berry Farm had 8 coasters that were running and operating. So I have 311 coasters right now. But anyway, thanks for watching, and look for more theme park content to come. Even though I can't share those with you, I still have lots more coming. And yeah, so like and subscribe if you are interested in theme park content. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!